what was it, Nei, Nei,
Yeah.
last week, but there was, for some weird reason, that was meant to say Fairyland. So I don't know how on earth you spell Fairyland, Nei, but my deepest apologies to Fairyland.
He is like severely dyslexic.
Yeah, but I'm very sorry to Fairyland. I make that official. But I had no idea. So this is the actual list of sponsors. Sales viewers, Fairyland, Noise, Prowler, Nebopolis, Ruskig, and Trap, and of course Altitude. Altitude being a sick multiplayer online game, which you can go and see over at if you link from altitudeisl.net, which is of course the #1 place to check out everything happening in this tournament. It's really difficult reading out the sponsors because when I'm coming up to Ruskig, it always makes me want to say Nabopolisk. Do you ever get that? Every single time.
Nabopolisk. Dude, you gotta be careful, man. Dustin Browder's gonna put that in Legacy of the Void.
The Nabopolisk.
Yeah,
oh my
dude.
god, I would love that.
It's gonna be a
That'd be
new
amazing.
unit. New unit. You heard it here first, folks.
The Nabopolisk. I want that so badly. That'll make it worth buying the game.
Alright, so, gonna go to the commercial and then into the first game.
Awesome.
Alright, and we are back, and I am just waiting on Elegant.
Yeah, I'm having trouble because I'm on my laptop and it doesn't have a hash thing.
You don't have a hash key? Alright, I'll take off the
No.
hash because we're in the replay.
Yeah, I was trying to type it, but I kept on clocking up because I'm on a laptop keyboard, and yeah.
Wow,
My
that
bad.
that is impressive, guys. Oh wait, I just hosted a one-on-one. Guys, Elegant
Uh.
is actually missing a hash key. Can we actually set up a donation fund for a new keyboard for Elegant so that he can have a hash key? I actually feel really sad now. You're
That
like
means a lot
like
to
a
me.
poor puppy that's like got only 3 legs or something. You're just like missing a hash key. Oh man. All right, I remade it without the
Yeah.
hash stuff.
Alright, thank you very much.
Poor Elegant.
I'm on my way now.
Just wanna
Yeah,
hit
sorry.
you on the head.
Alright. Sorry, it's so confusing. Right,
You might be missing a 1 key as well, guys. Somebody start
no.
mailing Elegant random keys. You just like mail him an asterisk, the percent sign, the tilde. Oh man, tilde is very
dear.
useful. You absolutely need a tilde. Somebody mail him a tilde key, quick.
And I don't even know what a tilde is. Is that about as useful as a schwa?
It's like the little squiggly line thing.
Oh yeah,
It's like the
dead
horizontal
useful.
squiggly line. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick key.
If I
Anyway,
was Korean,
I think we are ready now. So
Yeah.
let us go into game number 1. This is the fourth place match between Semih and Bibiane. It's going to be a PvT on Sniper Ridge. It is a best of 5, and right after this we'll be doing the grand finals. So
Awesome.
here we go.
Alright, here it is. The moment you've all, well, nearly the moment you've all been waiting for. This is kind of a secondary moment which you've all been kind of looking forward to vaguely. Spawning in the top left-hand corner as the purple Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih. And in the top right-hand corner, spawning in is the teal Terran. We have ISL3 Bibiane. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, it's the third, fourth place match. I don't really care. But bear in mind that these guys are battling it out for a substantial prize pool right here, even for the third and fourth place matches. And it's also guaranteed to be a sick game. Both of these players posting incredible records so far in this tournament. So guaranteed to see some good stuff here as a very respectable warm-up for what is, of course, the main feature of the night, the grand finals between Doty and Ziki, coming up directly after these.
Indeed. And a little quick note, by the way, guys. Because all you smarty pants, all you guys are like, oh, you guys have to mix up the replay so we don't get spoiled. Well, you know what? We have done just that. Not only do we have the normal anti-spoiler replays today, but you won't even be able to tell from the end of the game who won the series, because we've actually taken replays from both the players and we've kind of just mixed them up randomly. So yeah, many thanks to our lovely referees for doing that. Ava and No One. And of course Game for doing all the organization stuffs.
Yeah, I don't even know how that came out. Like at the end of the last cast, somebody in chat just said it just to be a troll, and now everyone's suddenly like really concerned about it, and suddenly everyone knows about it. It's so annoying that if they'd never said anything, then no one would have ever known or cared.
I know.
But,
people are just too smart.
Yeah, whatever. I know. Well, it's this one guy. No one ever knew about that, and then he pops up with his being all too clever for everyone else's own good.
It's really
and
funny
ruins
because
everyone's fun.
it's like almost the opposite of what I experience on my YouTube channel. Because on the YouTube channel, when I post anti-spoilers, people get confused and think they're like real videos. So they keep telling me I posted the wrong videos. I'm just like, no, they're anti-spoilers. And here it's like, you've got this completely, obscure way of spoiling something, and people are just like, it's spoiling. So, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
By the way, people in the chat are remarking on this anti-manner pylon, which does confuse me a little bit. This is like a PvP pylon, where you don't want to get mannered there by your opponent's pylon, but I mean, what is he actually afraid of here? Is he afraid of getting supply depot there or something? It's a little bit weird.
Wouldn't imagine so. I guess it's just a space efficiency thing, so he can put it there and it doesn't manner his own minerals, and he keeps one pylon vaguely out of the way, still gets a decent amount of energy off it, so I suppose it kind of serves a decent function in that regard to place it in the mineral line. I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at the mining, only this one probe that's going to that bottom inside patch is actually slightly inefficient, but everyone else is actually fine. Meanwhile, it is a 1-Rax expand from Bibiane. Pretty standard safe build. Now, while we have a bit of a lull here, should we talk a little bit about their semi-final matches? Of course, I casted Semih versus Doty, or you casted that with me, rather. And that was an epic series, going down to the wire, the last Game 7, which was ridiculous. I highly recommend everyone go watch that series. It is up on my my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SayleBW.
It was amazing. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt about it. It was seriously incredible. The Doty versus Semih match was just... I can't recommend it highly enough. It had everything in there. If you haven't seen it already, then do so, even though you already know what happens. It's too good. You cannot possibly imagine exactly what goes down in that set of games. It was just sick.
And it looks like we actually have an initial Zealot here from Semih, which is very, very interesting. So, I mean, he scouted... Oh, nice little focus fire there by Bibiane, immediately taking down the probe. And now the Zealot, without its probe, but he's going to have a bit of a harder time dealing with these SCVs and Marines. Of course, that little extra bit of damage from the probe does allow you to like 2-shot Marines and whatnot. But anyway, the bunker does finish, so the Zealot is going to get pushed back here, and we are just going to see an expansion from Semih. Honestly, I'm a little bit not surprised, but I think it's interesting that he did go for the Zealot first, even though he hadn't actually scouted the 1-Rax expand. He just like blindly went for the Zealot first, which is not that common in PvT. And I mean, you'd think it might have worked a little bit better, considering it was a fast expansion build, but it was some good control from Bibiane, some good SimCity, and basically deflected it without taking any damage.
Yeah, I think his building placement was such that he was never really going to have trouble. He can do the fancy little bit of marine micro back and forward in between the depot and the barracks just as he'd like, and he microed it nicely. He definitely did micro it nicely, getting the bunker up in good time as well. So yeah, it probably wasn't as dangerous as it might have otherwise seemed, and the Zealot was very, very easily turned away, as we can notice. And Semih choosing to follow up, not by going directly for Reaver or anything, he's just throwing down natural expansion of his own, now making the robotics, but only after the second gateway. So if it is a Reaver, it's going to be a pretty delayed one. I mean, that kind of timing can catch Terran pretty well off guard, but it shouldn't do. Ooh, Mr. Zealot nicking himself a Marine kill, so the Marines get a little bit too cheeky, pushing out and getting caught on the low ground right there, and sneaking an SUV round as well, probably just for scouting purposes, but nice little bit of a diversionary tactic right there. Oh, but looks like he's going to get spotted.
And and 1 Dragoon though is not going to be enough to stop that guy from going over, so he's going to be able to come over here, see this expansion Nexus, and be like, okay, it's not kind of any crazy one base all-in from Semih, however unlikely that would be anyway, but he might get lucky and see the 2 gateways and the Robo even, in fact, but it looks like 1 more Dragoon is going to come out, might be able to at least just block the ramp with that. I think that would be a good idea. Just block the ramp, Semih, block the ramp! No, yeah, alright, yeah. Denying the scout. So he sees the expansion, but nothing else. So he still doesn't know what's going on inside, but this kind of 2-gate Robo follow-up is very, very standard. Meanwhile, Semih's one, he got a little bit high there, but no, he just made another round of Dragoons. Looks like he is getting an observatory. So 2-gate ops, very, very safe and standard follow-up. He could still follow this up with a Reaver, or just expand again. Or I guess those are probably the 2 most likely possibilities here. Looks like Bibiane readjusting his wall a little bit. This depot is now kind of walling him into his base though, so he might actually have to, well, he won't have to kill this, he'll have to move the barracks somewhere else later on in order to get out of this base, but that's fine. Meanwhile, Semih is going to camp this ramp. I hope he realizes that there is this, oh actually we're on the older version of Sniper Ridge. Okay, so the little choke thing is actually still attached to this ridge. I was thinking of the new updated version, but no, we are still using last season's version, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, like we explained last week, I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference.
In the meantime, the probe is actually going to the 12 o'clock to expand here, presumably. And that's an interesting choice, because he's basically expanding towards the Terran, which is generally not a good idea in PvT. But he does have basically 2 ridges that he can kind of make use of to defend any kind of push. So this first ridge outside the Terran Natural, and then this middle ridge is going to be very crucial to hold. If he loses control of that, then that expansion is going to be extremely vulnerable. Although having said that, it looks like his probes actually went back home, and he's actually sending a probe to the 9 o'clock. So actually, I guess he's just building a spotting pylon here at the 12 to check for any dropships incoming towards his natural. I think that's a very good idea, actually, to be taking the 9 o'clock instead and just build that spotting pylon. So I like this choice a lot more from Semih.
Yeah, I really much prefer that. I mean, expanding towards the Terran would be a terrible decision anyway, I think. Just because of the proximity it places your bases in terms of in relation to his push. But yeah, the spotting pylon is decent, so he's going to get that early warning sign if there's a dropship on the way over, which I agree with you is a good little bit of an aspect to his play. A little bit of Dragoon confusion happening in his natural, but getting out of there soon enough. Semih committed quite heavily to the mid gate, or at least it seemed he was going to, throwing down 4 gateways, but he's actually decided to divert straight away off to a relatively early, well not early, but the standard timing. He kind of will he be going for some kind of push? This could be really actually pretty scary for Bibiane until he gets those extra tank sieges up on the high ground, and he does lose his tank in the natural, so that kind of thing's really great for just chipping away at the Terran's confidence and at his forces and his ability to of course get out there and make a third or any kind of concerted push. But it is going to be a push orientated play. It's interesting that Semih's actually decided to make an extra base instead of sticking on those 4 gateways and getting up his speed zealot / arbiter tech a little bit earlier than he otherwise might have. He should probably be still alright because he does have the production capabilities behind him. With a 3rd base he should be able to fund that pretty nicely. But it leaves it a little bit close. Producing a shuttle now too, I think that's going to be very, very useful. He needs to produce at least 4 or so zealots as well there, just so he can make sure he can get those decent bombs. And Bibiane looks about ready to move out right now.
Man, that was a nice move to trade that 1 zealot for the tank, but he's still in a bit of trouble because of the 5 fact production against his 4 gateways. He's moving back now. He needs to buy as much time as possible, force these tanks to keep sieging up, to just leapfrog slowly but surely across the map here. He's just now adding on 3 more gateways, going up to 7 gateways. His Citadel is done, but he's not going to have leg speed. Oh man, it's going to be really tight here. Bibiane going for the big 5 fact pressure. It looks like he forgot to bring 2 of these vultures though, but he didn't actually rally the factories correctly, so that's a relief. I thought 2 of those factories would not be rallied, which could just like end the game for him if that were the case. Looks like he's getting a little bit of supply block though, 92 of 92. Semih is still okay, but he's a little bit behind. He's at 81 of 91. Observer seeing exactly how the push is going. Bibiane is actually pushing extremely slowly. Look at this, he's just like sieging up. He's building a turret here. I'm not sure why he feels so paranoid or something. Like, you know, when you go for a 5 fact in TVP, you generally go a little bit faster than this, a little bit more aggressive. It's not necessarily a bad choice considering all these Dragoons are kind of camped on this high ground ramp, but you know, if he waits too long, his timing is going to be gone.
Yeah, it's kind of slipping a little bit that way already. I mean, there's plenty of Dragoons up there on the high ground. I mean, of course, Bibiane can still continue to creep forward, and he can use that in conjunction with the vultures and just dart at the high ground, get the vision, and get some nice siege tank hits off on the Dragoons, because the Dragoons are still pretty soft to the siege tank fire. And having a look at Semih's main, his speed zealot's actually not quite done yet, but not too far off, and he's gatewayed up really, really nicely, already on 7 gateways, so he's going to be able to reinforce quite quick, and that's how small Bibiane's timing window is right now. He's got to make a concerted push, and he's got to do it very, very quickly. and doing a decent job now of getting up onto that high ground. Will he get up there without too many vulture losses? A few vultures going down, but he does manage to seal up the tanks. And Semih's just going further and further back, but he won't be too worried just yet. He's about to have a big slew of speed zealots coming into the fight as well.
Oh man, I actually love this push direction. So a lot of players, you know, when they do this push, they'll just attack straight across horizontally onto the ridge. But look what Bibiane's done. He's basically gone diagonally here. He's going towards the 12 o'clock. He's basically hugging this cliff, like this architecture around the third. But hold that thought. Looks like we have a big attack coming in here. Zealots closing with everything. The shuttle dropping zealots all over those tanks. But it's just such a beautiful position for Bibiane here. Semih definitely had enough forces to actually take this fight if they engaged on open ground. But just because Bibiane had a perfect position, half of Semih's dragoons didn't even attack in that battle, and Bibiane will hold this position. He's got so many spy runs, a giant minefield covering the bottom here. So he's just going to kind of hold this 12 o'clock base here, and it's just like impossible for Protoss to attack this through this narrow choke. He has to come from the bottom and then just like run uphill into spider mines. This is going to be really ugly. But at least he's still got a little bit of space to maneuver. He's not quite contained into his natural yet, but that was a bit costly there. He did lose a good number of zealots in that attack. Didn't really kill too much. Meanwhile, third base already going up for Bibiane at the 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Bibiane hasn't been a little bit more proactive with his vultures. Getting some more presence on the... We could see some horrible mine hits, so I'll hold that thought. Yeah, the dragoons pushing in and almost getting through that minefield, but oh no, Semih, you really need to make sure your forces don't get drawn in. Okay, now pulling back out of range of those siege tanks. Yeah, that's a horrible position as far as Semih's concerned. What was I saying? Oh yeah, surprised that Bibiane hasn't been a little bit more active, just taking 1 or 2 vultures down to the bottom left hand side, placing a few miners around, because it looks like Semih's pretty much ready to make up a 4th fairly soon. He's got a pro position down at the bottom right left hand corner as well. And Bibiane's really going to have nothing that he can do about that. Oh, and it looks like Semih's actually going for the big attack right now. I don't know if this is the right timing, but Bibiane's vultures were a little bit out of position. This could go quite nicely for Semih, but being forced through a very, very small bottleneck. And a lot of his dragoons going down right away. This could be quite nasty for Semih if he doesn't get more of those tanks down. He might just be able to clean this up though, still with a little bit of work to do. He's got a good number of dragoons shelling down on one of the remaining 2 tanks, but another tank coming up from the back, and I think Bibiane's going to hold this against all the odds, and that really, really emphasizes the importance of having stellar positioning, and that was really, really good positioning from Bibiane. He definitely knew what he was doing right there.
Man, this is so funny. It's like once again, you know, if you looked at the armies before the engagement, Protoss definitely had enough to break the Terran if it was like in a better position, but he keeps getting forced into these horrible engagements where he's like attacking through a choke like next to a cliff and uphill. It's just like the worst possible attack angle, and even though it's a terrible attack angle, it's still like coming down to the wire each time. That just shows like how much of a unit advantage the Protoss had before the engagement. But you know, this push is slowly but surely making its way forward here, and all the zealots are now down, only some dragoons left. He's got to make sure that, you know, Bibiane doesn't get too far out on this ridge, but he's going to be completely contained. But look at these spider mines all over the place, basically contained by spider mines. Now he's moving in, trying to snipe some siege tanks, but that is not going to work. He's got no zealots to tank damage. He's sending in more dragoons from the back, but this is not going to work at all. I do not think this is a good idea. He needs to wait for another shuttle to bomb these tanks or something. He's just moving in with the dragoons. Oh god, the vultures coming in. Oh, that is not good.
No, that is the opposite of good. So much blue goo. That's at least control group of dragoons just laying on the ground right there. And also finally sending a vulture down to the bottom left hand corner. Bibiane's looking in control of this game right now. I'm surprised that Semih didn't try and do something a little bit different. He could have taken a strike force around the back and just tried to outflank the Terran a little bit, maybe get into the natural, cause a little bit of a disturbance there, get in on the 3rd base maybe, because that's still looking pretty undefended. And Bibiane's not doing the best job of SCVing that base up. I think Semih had a few better options there than just crunching his army straight into the front, and he's allowed himself to have mines laid down behind him, doing some nice mine drags though. He's only going to lose a few zealots for trouble, but that's a few zealots he really can't afford to be losing at this stage, and Bibiane's going to start pushing forward with what might be overwhelming superiority right here. Semih's going to be defending quite far back, and this is a nasty position for Protoss to be in. As we can see, Bibiane's going to have a fantastic position up on this high ground once again, which is going to be almost impossible for Semih to break out of, and of course this isolates him as well from defending his 3rd base, so this means that Bibiane's pretty much at his leisure to go over there and have a crack at that as well, with nothing to defend it really.
Yeah, but it looks like Bibiane is just completely focused on the attack. You know, he did send a vulture down to the bottom left, but he's ignoring the 3rd base, and it looks like, oh, another breakout attempt by Semih. He doesn't want this position he doesn't want Bibiane to just get this beautiful position, but it doesn't matter. GG from Semih, and Bibiane will take game number 1 in his best of 5. That was just ruthless there by Bibiane. Just solid push. Man, you can see he definitely practiced that map. I mean, he used the map architecture beautifully there.
Yeah, that was really, really nice stuff from Bibiane.
Alright, and by the way, for any of you smarty pants in the chat who are like, oh, Semih left first, but we saw Bibiane GG, so like, He won the game. No, no, we mixed up the replays from both players this time, so there are no spoilers whatsoever. Unless, and then
nice,
one of you is just gonna be like, well, you know, I'm psychic. I can read the players' minds. I know actually how it ends. Well, screw you, guy. Go away.
Yeah. Spoilers aren't cool. Definitely not cool. Anyone who's wondering, it is a best of 5. The actual final itself is a best of 9. So that's going to be epic, epic stuff. I saw someone come in a little bit confused, thinking that this was already the final, and thinking that someone had beaten Zeke out already. Whoa, that didn't happen. This is the 3rd and 4th place match, of course, between Semih and Bibiane.
I don't even know how you get that confused. Zeke's not even in the game. It's just like, oh, yep, we just eliminated him. He got DQ'd.
Yeah. Imagine that. That's unthinkable.
That'd be terrible. Anyway.
So many. Yeah. Let's do it.
Alright, game number 2 on Tau Cross. Semih versus Bibiane. Winner takes $300. Pretty sweet payday. I wish I could play best of 5 for $300.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. But if they've had to come a long way, I mean, this has been a lot of brood war to get right here.
It's true, it's true.
It's been hard stuff. There's someone apparently confused in the chat as well, thinking that the replays are all in the wrong order for some reason. That's like the weirdest thing I can possibly imagine to think. We just got replays from different guys, so there's no spoilers with who leads the game first. It's not in the wrong order. That would be mad. Really mad. So yeah, I'll call out the positions. On the left-hand side, spawning in as the teal Terran, we have the fantastic Mr. Bibiane. At the bottom of the map, sort of leaning towards the right-hand corner. Oh, you're right, it is going to be a cheese. It is, of course, the red Kratos Mr. Semih, who's going to begin this match by trying to end it hard and fast with some kind of crazy cheese. Whatever it may be. Gotta be proxy gates.
Look at him doing the GG have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why whenever someone types good luck have fun or any variation thereof in a game, you must immediately scout for cheese. Alright, if you're playing a Zerg, just assume he is 4-pooling, okay? Nobody is manner on the internet, alright? The only person who is manner is like Day 9. If it's Day 9, he says good luck, have fun, alright, you can believe that. But anybody else, you must defend. You must play as defensive as possible. If you're playing a Forge Fast Expand against a Zerg, just go like 3 cannon before Nexus on me, because this is like the telltale sign of cheese. Oh man. Semih, busting out all the stops. I mean, just look, in a second, he's gonna ask Bibiane where he's from. Just wait, he's gonna do it.
I had the weirdest experience of that earlier on ladder. I had some guy like asking me about what city I was from, and then he started telling me weird jokes. And I was like, I don't want any of this. I'm just here to play Brood War. This is creepy. Yeah, it scared me a little bit.
That's why I just like don't talk to people. I say good luck, have fun, and then I just don't say anything else for the game except GG at the end. It's like don't talk to people. Because yeah, like no, I know exactly what you mean. Like on IC Cup when I'm laddering, like some random Korean guy, he starts asking me questions. He's like, "Oh, do you like kimchi?" I'm like, what? What?
What do you care? You gonna serve me some? I mean, that'd be alright. He was telling me fish and chip related jokes as well, so I think he was being racist. I don't know. But anyway, a little bit of pro. No, it's not going to kill the SCV. The SCV's alright.
He did delay the barracks by a few seconds though, so that's quite nice. And Bibiane still has absolutely no idea about these proxy gates in the middle of the map. Now note that there's no ramp to hold here. There's just kind of a bit of a choke here. Looks like we're going to have some anti-Zealots in City, but I'm pretty sure Zealots can still walk in. Although the Marines can still just micro back and forth in between the depot and the barracks against them. First SCV is going out. Is he going to see it? Is he going to go in the right direction? He is going to go out. He is going to see the first Zealot coming in. That's going to raise some suspicion. And
yeah, that's a big giveaway.
He might even see the second Zealot. That's going to immediately let him know exactly what's going on. So now he sees the second Zealot. He just kind of runs headlong into it, so he knows what's going on. Is he going to bunker up here?
Oh, SCV! SCV!
Oh, sick probe.
Probu. Win for the probe. Oh no, the first Marine's out of position. Oh no, that's really, really bad for Bibiane, letting his first Marine wander off and losing an extra SCV as well. And that was the SCV that was making the factory. That's really, really important. But yeah, losing that first Marine is a massive deal. It looks like now he's actually managed to wall off his natural with a Spiny Puss. Wow. A smart move there, and that might actually put an end to the pressure.
Wow,
maybe.
That is a sick wall there. Just putting that Zealotite depot in the choke. Oh man, Semih, he's got one Zealot in the main base still running against that Marine, but a second Marine does pop out, and once the Zealot in the main base dies, if this depot goes up, that could be it. The depot's about to finish. As soon as it finishes, he can start repairing it. He just needs to repair it now. It is burning, but it's not enough DPS from the Zealots and the probes to take it down, and Bibiane, who looks like he might have been in a lot of trouble there, just gets the Gosu block off, and is now absolutely fine. Now the only issue is he's got almost no SCVs mining. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SCVs on minerals and 1 on gas. That's his entire economy right now. Semih's economy is way better, and he's got a forge. Semih's gonna cannon rush him. He's gonna cannon contain. Oh god! Oh, Semih! Semih!
Thing is, can this work? Because the factory's already done, so there's going to be a tank out in just a second. I don't know how convincing this is going to be. I guess if he can get all those zealots running into the main, that can make life difficult for a siege tank or two. But has he missed the window, maybe? I don't know. I pretty much never do this, so I'm not fully clued up on it.
I rarely do this as well, but I think, you know, even if the tank gets out, I mean, it's still going to be it's going to take him a little bit of time to break down these cannons. It's going to give Semih some time to tech up, get his, dragoons out. Because otherwise, if he didn't do that, like if he's trying to go straight for dragoons, there was the risk that Bibiane could like go vulture first and get a vulture out. Although I guess with that wall there, it would not make as much sense. But well, it looks like the cannon's actually going to start ranging this bunker. The bunker out of range of the cannons. Nice cannon placement there from Semih. We did see him cancel one, and looks like he's going to just keep cannon pushing here. Another bunker going down in the back, but Semih is not done with this attack. He's built a random pylon in the back of his base. I actually really like this, because this is a very popular location and just for the Terrans to just like build a factory. You know, Bibiane could easily build a factory there, make like a vulture, and then Semih would just instantly lose. And we have seen that before.
I think Bibiane's considering it at the mineral only base up here. Will he make a factory? Oh, it looked like he was thinking of making a factory, but I don't think he's going to have the minerals all the time, and it's being sieged down at his front door. You have to wonder exactly what Semih's follow-up to this is, because that siege tank in the bunker makes things actually relatively safe. He can't really get any further in, but with a decent number of zealots, he might try, and he's going in now. There is a bunker, but he's only got 3 Marines instead of the full 4.
Oh,
that tank might be severe trouble, however, and if the zealots can get us around, that's going to be big, big trouble for Bibiane.
Oh man, and not only that, but with that depot down, Bibiane is actually supply blocked right now, so he's basically got to hold this off with 1 tank. And looks like SCV accidentally went into the bunker instead of repairing it. Is Bibiane going to hold this up? The tank has got 1 shot left, he's got to run! The SCVs repairing the bunker are gone, he's trying to repair the bunker, the siege tank goes down, but the bunker looks like it will survive here. Semih is down to his last 2 zealots. I don't think he's going to get the bunker, the SCVs keep getting loaded in, it looks like Bibiane somehow holds on here. What on earth? How did Bibiane hold that? I have no idea. He had like 7 zealots charge into his base.
See, I don't think Semih realizes it, but he actually has yet another time window open to him, because Bibiane's completely supply blocked, and he's only just started another supply depot now, so if Semih had continued building cannons as he was doing that little bit of a push, then he might actually be able to get all the way in with cannons. But of course, how was he to know that? So Bibiane will be able to stabilize. That was so right on the edge there with that bunker. I swear it was like on 5 hit points or something at that point, and he was moving the SCVs in and out to try and keep them alive. It was really incredibly close stuff for Bibiane. He had, yeah, he was in some serious danger of going down.
Manor Engineering Bay, by the way, here at the Natural, blocking Semih from expanding. He's got up to 500 minerals now. That thing finally gets cancelled, and Semih does expand. Semih now just pumping dragoons out of these center gateways. He's still got the cannons containing Bibiane, and you know, even though that was an amazing defense by Bibiane, he's still pretty hurt on his SCV count. If you just compare it to the number of probes, Semih was still with a much better saturation. So, you know, Bibiane, I think he's still in quite a bit of trouble. He's actually just going to build a command center here. It looks like he just wants to play the long game, not going to go for any kind of huge one base all-in, like a 2-fact or even a 3-fact. And Semih is actually double expanded here, knowing that Bibiane can't really make any moves with these 2 cannons supporting the dragoons at the front. And that, I think this is actually a really nice choice from Semih. Meanwhile, Steve at the front.
Quite an unconventional choice. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined to see this. It's not a usual kind of follow-up. Often you'd see go for natural and then maybe go for DTs or some kind of reaver activity, or just you know, it's something a little bit more harassy / aggressive. But the double expand actually, I think, is a valid choice, and he should have the forces to keep himself safe should he need to. But I think he's bargaining on the fact that it's going to take Bibiane a little while to actually get the forces he needs to do any kind of push. And I think he's right, and this could be a decent decision for him, a decent follow-up to what has been so far, let's face it, a pretty cheesy game going in for the sniper.
Is he in range? It looks like he is. He's going to get the first T-tank. Oh, nice snipe by Semih. Man, I was going to say Bibiane was being so careful with that tank. That first cannon, he sieged just barely in range from inside his main. Not too close. He knew there was the risk of getting sniped, but he had to go further up to snipe the second cannon, and Semih taking advantage, moving in to kill that tank. And just imagine, Dustin Browder wants to put in a flying Protoss unit that has a siege tank and a half of range. Oh man, because I was just looking at this, right? Like this tank, look, it's shooting across like the entire screen. And then we've got a beautiful new 22 range Tempest coming in. Sorry, I just have to keep bringing that up. I love it. It makes me so happy to think about.
I don't understand really how it's supposed to function. Not that it really affects my life in any way, shape, or just kind of pops into the occasional news update on Team Liquid, and that's pretty much it for me. But I'm glad it makes you happy. I'm glad it makes you feel fulfilled in a deep and satisfying way. Good. Very glad.
Now, Bibiane, I mean, he's still kind of stuck in his base. Oh, looks like we have another tank snipe going in. Oh, he covers it with a barracks, but not enough. Oh, wasn't quite covered. Oh man, he might even lose a second siege tank, but it looks like there's no vision actually. Is there no vision? Because that bottom one was definitely in range. That's very interesting.
This is looking horrible for Bibiane. I mean, losing those 2 siege tanks is a massive deal. He still has no natural expansion, and Semih has got 3 bases mining pretty effectively, producing off 3 gateways now. And he's got his observer tech coming in as well. Semih is just way ahead, whilst Bibiane is on 44 supply with 1 tank. Semih is at 69 supply with 3 bases, all kinds of Dragoon action, and we're now seeing a dropship happening for Bibiane. He has to do something massive with that dropship in order to really get him back in the game. I'm not saying it's impossible. We've seen crazier things happen, but it is quite deeply unlikely. Doing a decent job of laying down mines outside though, and that's quite interesting. How did he get those vultures out? Did he have another dropship before already?
No, he just elevated out the 1, but he is making a second dropship though, and this is gonna be very interesting. Like this counterattack, although wow, look at this, Semih well prepared. He's got 4 Dragoons at his third. He's got 2 cannons going up. He's got wow, he's got a cannon going up in every mineral line here. Semih with the mind hacks here. He knows the danger. I mean, he knows that with Bibiane being so contained like this, you know, that dropping is really the only option he has for coming back in this game. So you know, that's how you play when you're ahead. When you're ahead, just think of all the random ways that your opponent could somehow magically come back and defend against all those. And then you're golden. I mean, you know, he doesn't need to do anything crazy. He doesn't need to do anything risky. He just needs to sit on his 3 bases and not let Bibiane take a natural, and then he wins.
I'm surprised he hasn't made shuttle because he will know, of course, that this is a cliffable natural, and of course there are some Terran units about to set up on that cliff. Maybe. Oh no, he's going to spike straight over into the natural. This could be so bad for the dropship. Oh no, the dropship goes down in the natural of Semih. Not a single vulture getting out of that. What a massive waste of the very little cash that Bibiane has available to him. The dropship going down. He does have his natural expansion happening, but honestly, that's ridiculously late by comparison to Semih's now booming economy.
And not a single vulture was given that day. So sad, so sad. Oh man, I think he might have been focusing on like pushing the Dragoons out of his natural, and he just kind of shift clicked the dropship to where it was he thought was the cliff, but like he clicked a little bit too far. He might have been right clicking on the minimap or something, and then he just lost it. That, by the way, is one good argument for always using patrol to move your transports, like shuttles and dropships, rather than right-clicking. If you patrol move a shuttle or a dropship and it gets attacked, it'll turn the opposite direction automatically.
What?
So if did you not know that?
No, this is a hugely big deal now. I hope everyone's listening. That's crazy.
Yeah, it'll just run away automatically as soon as it gets shot. So you can basically just not look at it, and it just is unlikely that it'll die. It's pretty awesome. It's good for people with low APM. Anyway, drop in the main. Looks like I've just blown Elegant's mind here.
He broke me. He really broke me.
Elegant, all these years you've been wasting your APM looking at your shuttles, and you actually didn't have to.
Tell me about it. Yeah, the drop in the main going on while my brain fries. Not going to be too bad. Ooh, a nasty little bit of a mine hit happening right there. Landing on quite a few Dragoons, and this drop's actually doing somehow a whole lot of damage, taking down 2 Dragoons so far. The tank is finally going to get rid of, as is the Vulture. So doing some decent stuff there. Still not enough damage to really undo everything that's been done so far in this game. Bibiane is still mining relatively slowly. He's not that well saturated at his main. Decently saturated to natural, but not as well saturated as he could be, and his army is looking incredibly small by comparison to Semih's. 69 supply versus 120. That is rough stuff. And we can see that Semih's just happy to defend up like crazy now. He's happy to make plenty of cannons, keep his Dragoons well back, and just make sure that no untoward damage gets dealt. We can really see why Bibiane's having so much trouble getting anything done with these dropships. I think those 3 Dragoon kills is pretty much all he's going to get out of this.
I mean, he's been doing a really remarkable job, you know, trying to get in some Vulture harass. He did actually manage to kill these gas probes on the 3rd, and Semih has not put them back yet. But yeah, as you said, Semih just shutting down all of this harassment. I do like Semih's spotting though. He's put a pylon on the far left of the map to spot any more dropships. You know, he had a probe kind of chilling at this mineral only on the left side as well, just to see any more drops coming out again. And looks like some more vultures going down the right side. Are they going to run into these goons? Whoa! It's like a bit of a pause there. Meanwhile, Semih, look at this. He's building cannons before the nexus at the bottom, at the mineral only on the right side. He's just playing so carefully. Meanwhile, Bibiane's own third is coming online, and I don't think Semih's actually aware of this yet. I'm a little bit surprised his observer is not, you know, maybe poking over there every now and then just to see when that goes up, because it is actually quite a wide open space that you have to control to defend this third base. There's this big space here outside the natural, and then this wide bridge by the third. So it does give Semih an opportunity to attack right now. Let's see what forces he has. He does have about a control group of speed losses for the rest of the Dragoon force. Actually, more than that. Got a lot of units moving in. The Vultures actually see this. They get a pot shot off on the Dragoons. The thing is, even if he sees it, what can he do? He's trying to lay some good spider mines. The Observer sees the position. It sees not that many siege tanks. Now, Semih, he's moving in. He's leading with the Dragoons. Dragoon's going to clear some of these spider mines first so that the Zealots can run in. He's going to make sure not to clump up the Zealots too much. So that he can reduce the splash damage, and I'm pretty sure he can break this, even though he's basically attacking into a siege Terran position. It doesn't even matter. Just the overwhelming force here of the Protoss is probably going to end this game.
I would imagine so. I mean, it's rare that you see a Protoss just barreling straight down into a siege Terran position, but this is really no contest whatsoever. He just had such overwhelming force, doing a little bit of the Dragoon dancing as well, basically saying to Bibiane, yeah, man, it's over, please get out of the game. And I think Bibiane will be doing that in just a second, because that was just crushing. GG from Bibiane in game 2. And the cheese paying off to Semih, maybe not in the way we could have expected, but yeah, going 1-1 right here.
Indeed, indeed. Alright, 1-1. I like that, I like that. It means we're not going to see any silly 3-0 one way or the other. Or not silly,
yeah,
but
nobody wants that.
It makes it more interesting. More games is always more interesting. So, let us go on to game number 3 on ground 0. Nice.
I hope the game's trend continues on to later, because like just having a whitewash would be rubbish in the final. I really want it to be close stuff.
Dude, Doty's gonna win, man. It's fine. I don't know what people are talking about. I have faith. Have faith in your Protoss brother.
I do. I really do.
I believe.
I think he can do well. I think. Yeah, he's been practicing hard. I spoke to him the other day. He's definitely been working quite a lot for it. He definitely wants it. So, yeah, he's got every chance, I reckon.
Alright. But first, we must get through this best of 5. And let's go right into the game.
Let's do it.
This is the warm-up, guys. The foreplay to the main event. The appetizer, if you will.
It may only be the second feature, but it's still damn good stuff. And
it is still a fantastic matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best matchups. This is almost kind of final material. I mean, Semih, pretty much at a coin flip, could have been in the final if it weren't for Doty being absolutely masterful at microing Zealots around. Then this could be, including Doty rather than Semih. Semih could be on up to the final. But that was not the case, and Doty did everything to deserve it. But this is, of course, a match which still carries quite a lot of weight, still carries quite a lot of prize money as well for these two guys. So spawning in the top left-hand corner, fighting out for his share of that, is going to be ISL3 Semih. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the green Terran, we have ISL3 Bibiane. And the map is, of course, going to be ground 0 for this game 3, which at which we see a 1-1 scoreline between these two guys so far.
Indeed, indeed. Actually, I was just thinking, do you know what actual teams they're on? Like, Semih was in UED for a while, but is he still on UED? And
I think UED, I don't know, I don't want to say anything about UED because I don't know quite what happened, but I think it's not quite what it was meant to be.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, that's why I'm not really sure. And I know Bibiane was on SL for a while, but again, I'm not really sure.
I think Semih might have gone to NB. Did he go to MB?
Did he?
He used to be an LRM. I know he used to be an LRM, but I don't know if he is now. I think he might be. Okay, he's LRM. Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, he's back to
I don't know why I thought he was in MB.
Oh, Bibiane's in pain, according to Awa. Alright, cool.
Yes, yeah.
And pain is in the clan. He's not like healing over, needing like morphine or something.
Yeah.
I just realized I was like, Bibiane's in pain. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
People need to stop picking names and stuff that just create confusing sentences. Now I have a beef with Clan Pain as well, as in addition to Game and No One. joining in the ridiculous name department. Anyway, it is going to be a 14cc here from Bibiane. Wow. Now Semih has gone for a gateway scout, but they are cross map, so he's not going to get there too quickly, and it's going to be difficult for him to punish this. He's not gone for Zealot first this time. He has just gone for the standard cybernetics core. And what is he going to do? Now recently in the OSL tiebreakers, spoiler alert, we saw this exact same situation between Rush and Mini probe rushed against Rush. He saw the 14cc, it was cross map, he's like, screw it, and he just sent 5 probes and attacked with a Zealot. It was amazing. I highly recommend people go watch that game. Yeah, he won the game. It was so cool.
Snazzy. It's worth remembering.
So everyone go watch that after the finals is done today, if you have not already. And it looks like Semih is going to pull just one more probe to do something. He might actually just send this guy to go proxy a Robo or something. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. He has built a Zealot already. No Goon range started yet, even though he can afford it. He might make a Dragoon first.
But he's not making a third pylon, so I think that's going to be the most telling aspect. I mean, often you'll see people make a third pylon in their base and then an extra pylon elsewhere as well, just to make sure that if they do get scouted, then there is the necessary number of pylons, so it's not an instant giveaway. But Semih choosing just to block his ramp instead. Oh no, he has made another pylon. Where has he made that? What's happened? I could have sworn he was... Oh, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'm losing my marbles.
It's alright, he's proxying at the 3 o'clock. That's all we need to know.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
So I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Robo, and note that on this version of Ground Zero, I mean, you can drop units on the cliff. It's not as useful if you're dropping a Reaver, because then the Scarabs can't go down. But you know, it's funny, you can like drop a Dragoon there, and it can like shoot down, and then you can go micro your Reaver in the main, and it's like doubly annoying. I think it would be quite funny if Semih did some trick like that. But anyway, looks like this
and funny is what we're going for.
Yep. Of course. Who needs high quality games? We simply need ridiculous games like Pro Brushing.
Yeah, we need funny. Yeah, that's the requirement of this. That's why these guys are here. It's all fixed. They're the funniest guys in ISL, so 3rd and 4th place, very fitting for them.
They tell amazing jokes.
Yeah, amazing StarCraft jokes. The SCV is going to make it all the way to the natural, not much further. He's going to see the probe at the natural, so that's a little bit of a fake out probe. So that gives the illusion that he's going to be throwing. He might be throwing down an expansion in a second now, but I wouldn't imagine so, because then he probably wouldn't have the cash to make his Reaver really happen. It looks like it is a purely fake probe. He's spending his money quite freely. It doesn't look like he's saving up the cash for that 400 for a new Nexus. And he's going to go for the 2 Zealots as well, so this is going to be a pretty strong and pretty early Reaver as well, with 2 Zealots to back it up. And this could be quite damaging to Bibiane. He is getting the engineering bay, and that's actually maybe a little bit earlier than you would usually expect to see an engineering bay after a 14cc. Not too much of an unusual timing nonetheless, but the turret timing could be good for him, and he might be able to catch Semih at a pretty disadvantageous position. And
these Dragoons are trying to chase down the second SCV. That Dragoon actually missed one shot there. I don't actually know why. I think it like hit the little rock formation there or something. I didn't even know that thing had a mischance if you hid behind that. It's like the trees in Brood War give you a mischance. Meanwhile, this SCV, if it gets into the natural and doesn't see a Nexus there, it's going to be huge. This Zealot's going to try and block it, but the Zealot needs 2 shots to kill it. Oh, kill it! Oh, sick block there by Semih. Wow. That was really nice. And this SCV, oh man, I thought it was going to go to the 3 o'clock, but he's actually not gone there. He still has no idea. Oh god, and now the Reaver is on the way. The first Zealot is loaded up in the shuttle. He can easily send that second Zealot into that shuttle as well. This SCV is going to be able to go to the natural, and he's going to see that the Nexus is only just going to be started when he gets there, so then he's going to know that something is going on here. Are there any turrets up just yet? There's only one at the natural that'll help against DTs, but no, there is one going up at the back of the natural now that will be in time. That will be up in time before the Reaver gets up, and the SCV is going to get in here. No way that Semih, God, I keep getting him confused, but no way Semih is going to stop this. And yep, the SCV sees. He's like, wait a minute, wait just a darn minute here.
Yeah. But it's all going to be revealed to him in a second anyway. I mean, the Reaver pops out now. The missile turret timing, excuse me, is actually pretty good though. So this shuttle's going to be turned away, I think, quite fast. He's going to see that missile turret immediately, see the second one as well, and no, there's no way in the natural right now. And this looks actually pretty well shut down for Bibiane. He's got a decent perimeter in his main and missile turrets as well, but he's about to plug the last of the gaps. So I think this is pretty much going to be a non-issue for him for the time being. It will come into play, of course, when he tries to get any presence out further on the map. But until then, this Reaver is going to be a no real issue. But will there be a gap down at the bottom? It looks like Semih's going to try and sneak in past, and will it happen? Oh, so close. Just managing to get in at great personal risk to his Reaver. But he might get some decent shots off on the tanks. He might be able to take out both of these tanks pretty quickly. Ooh, Bibiane just moving away.
He's running too far forward. He takes a siege tank shot. He took one big siege tank shot there on the Reaver. Is Bibiane going to be able to focus down the Reaver? He does focus down the Reaver, but he loses one of his siege tanks in exchange. But great control by Bibiane. He's actually got 2 red health siege tanks. He's going to micro them for his life. This Zealot could actually kill both tanks. Oh! Survives with 2 9 HP siege tanks. What a boss, Bibiane. Now Semih, though, he's kept his Reaver alive, or his shuttle rather alive, and he's making a second Reaver, so he's going to be able to go in once again. Interestingly, could you imagine if he dropped a Dragoon on the cliff behind the natural and just shot that turret down so he could go harass? I think that'd be quite cute. But
I think that would be cute. That might have been good first off, and I think he had the opportunity to actually do a lot more damage than he eventually did. If he'd have microed his 2 Zealots a little bit more carefully rather than just sending them off to do pretty much what they wanted, I think he definitely could have taken out at least 2 tanks, maybe even 3. We could see how close he was, and even with relatively little micro, and a pretty major error in letting the siege tank land on the Reaver as well. So I think that definitely wasn't quite what it should have been and what he probably hoped it would be, but he's going to go in for another bite at the proverbial apple. He's going to be heading back around to the front again, possibly to try and exploit the same gap through the back of Bibiane's base. Meanwhile, with his own natural expansion up now, and DT tech as well, so it looks like we're going to get either super fast arbiters or he may just go for speed zealots. We have yet to see.
wait, where's the DT tech?
He's got a Templar, he's got a Sister Zealot, but I don't see any gas at the natural, so I'd imagine this is going to be a big Speed Zealot mid game, as far as I can tell.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought the archives was already up. I'm like, wait, where is it? Where is it?
Alright.
Interesting fact, by the way, is that even though Bibiane got the armory already, he didn't actually make a Goliath, so he's actually not even scared of the shuttle coming back in, which is quite interesting. Usually when Terran players, you know, they see the Reaper house coming in, they just make like one Goliath to shoot the shuttle, because otherwise they have no mobile anti-air. And considering he didn't actually fix that gap in his turret line at the bottom there, I would have thought making a Goliath would be a good idea, but no, he's just gonna keep pumping out those siege tanks. He's making a 3rd command center, gonna float that over here to this third base, this inside 3rd base. Now note that there is still gas here at this base. On the new version of Ground Zero, the gas has been removed, but this is still a nice expansion for the Terran. And looks like Semih just gonna use this Reaver to be annoying at the front. He does have to be careful now. He's probably gonna be a little bit more passive with it. Just leave it at the front, kind of do a bit of a contain here, a light contain on the Terran, make it more difficult for him to move out and take that expansion. That is basically all his Reaver is good for now. Now that the defenses are up in the main. Meanwhile, a lot of gateways going up for Semih. 6 gateways. It's getting leg speed. I think you're right. This might actually be a 2-base all-in from Semih.
Yeah, I think it's looking like to be the case. I mean, 2-base is quite strong. It's surprisingly strong, 2-base Protoss against 2-base Terran. If you really commit to it, rather than just kind of... It can give the illusion of being weak, because a lot of the time the only thing you see of a 2-base Protoss is this rather weedy 2-gate observery kind of guy that's going for a 3rd base and trying to get that up as quickly as possible. But if you just really commit to the 2 bases, you can get a lot of gateways up pretty quickly, and you can actually really contend blow for blow with the Terran and make life very, very hard for him, as long as you eventually manage to get that 3rd base up at a timing that's not too horrible in comparison to the Terrans. It can actually work out quite nicely. Maybe I'm being nice and proactive though about getting out to a 3rd base of his own. So if that gets too well established before Semih's ready to move in, then Semih's going to find it difficult to break.
Yeah, in the meantime, Bibiane is just being super duper careful here, so I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know how good Semih's Reaver control is going to be. If he shows us some amazing Reaver micro, maybe he can do something. I don't know. He's got a few Zealots just like stopped in the middle of the map. Look, they're just like frozen in time. They were halfway through running across the map, and they're just like, everybody freeze, duck and cover. That was kind of weird there. It's like went into stasis or something. Dude, they were like one of those demonstration things where like all the people just randomly freeze in like a big train station or something. Have you seen that video where like a bunch of guys as like some special event, it's like all got together and it's like randomly stopped moving? That was pretty cool.
That sounds quite cool. That sounds quite weird. I mean, I don't really know what those are.
Yeah, flash mobbing. Flash mobbing. Thank you, Forface. It's called flash mobbing. It's like a flash mob of zealots. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, random. Continue.
No, it's fine. I knew nothing about flash mobbing, so I leave a little bit more well educated. All thanks to you, Sayle. You give me something every week to think about and to take home with me. It's very, very nice. And it looks like Semih's actually ready to do that pressure that he wants to do, flying now with the Reaver. He's managed to delay missile turret cover for quite a while, which could actually be advantageous to be able to keep the observers in there. But the Zealots are all very, very close together, taking a lot of mine hits on the way in, and most of them go down immediately. The Reaver dropping down, might be able to get some good shots on the tanks. Lands right in the middle, a second shot as well going off, taking down 2 tanks. But wow, a really, really bad engagement for Semih. Indeed, we saw him take down 2 or 3 siege tanks and a minefield, a few vultures, but nothing critical. And the 3rd base still completely unscathed. And now Semih's 3rd base coming on in, but it is significantly behind that of the Terran. and I think not spreading his zealots correctly was a real mistake, and he's going to get his dragoons shelled a little bit more here from these siege tanks if Bibiane gets vision once again. But yeah, terrible engagement for Semih. He's got a lot to do right now if he's going to make this actually count.
Yeah, looks like Semih is making another Reaver, and you know, he had some decent Reaver control there. He got some good shots off, but the rest of his army just kind of got splattered on the map, so that's not ideal. And Bibiane is continuing to reinforce this position. Such a beautiful tank line here. Oh man, so nice. And Semih looks like he's actually taking a relatively quick fourth after that. His third has only just started mining now, and his fourth base is already going up here at the 12 o'clock. I mean, since they are cross map, he does have a bit of leeway here. He can kind of expand in all directions, and he does need to take a bit of a risk since he's pretty far behind after that failed attack. He's behind on supplies at 121 against 126 when Protoss should generally be ahead, and oh man, he might lose some probes here at the 3 o'clock, but building a couple of cannons out of that expansion. Semih seems to love cannoning up his bases here. He's like building more cannons than I do, and that's saying something, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think I commented on this before, just how much he loves his photon cannons. I mean, they're no bad thing, photon cannons are good, but too many can really set you back pretty badly. I mean, if you consider how much else he needs to be building at this point, he's got a lot of stuff to get in place right now in order to really make himself even. Only just now getting his Arbiter Tech, his prerequisite, excuse me, to Arbiter Tech started. He hasn't even got the Arbiter Tribunal on the way, so his tech is way behind. His supply count also not looking too healthy either. He is 10 supply behind the Terran at this point, where he'd want to be getting a healthy lead. So yeah, cannon's probably not the best choice. He needs to do something a little bit more proactive than that.
Hey man, don't knock cannons, alright? I love me some cannons. Cannons are awesome. But no, I agree.
Cannons are good.
He's actually got so few Dragoons now. It's just like these vultures, these 12 vultures that they run in could be really bad. He's actually got so many Zealots. It's a little bit of a funky, and by funky I mean bad unit composition to have too many Zealots. But you know.
He's producing Dragoons again now, I think. Yeah, he is. He's got some popping out the gateways.
Excellent, excellent. The problem is though, right now he's at 6 gateways, and Bibiane's going up to 8, 9, 10 factories. So that's not going to be good. It looks like, oh man, the Vulture's going to brute force down these cannons. Cannons not quite good enough. The Vultures are at 1-1. The probes need to run away or something. Looks like the Reaver's going to come in. He's got to be careful not to drop on the spider mines. And actually, wait, where did the Vultures go? Looks like they actually ran away instead of killing every single probe of this base. Huh.
Yeah, well, I guess they were going to go down sooner or later. Oh, we could have some big mine hits, but actually somehow the Dragoon's getting away with it, just battling through those last mines. And yeah, that's I guess that shows good value to those cannons. I mean, one of them just survived, so if he'd have only had one cannon, that would have been a seriously bad situation for him. Another Vulture Harass looking to go in at the 12 o'clock, but there's already 3 cannons ready and waiting there, so absolutely no dice. But he will be able, Bibiane will be able to mine up behind the Protoss force. If he has any mines left in the, okay, he doesn't have any mines left in those Vultures, but the 3 cannons easily seeing that Vulture Harass away. So Semih has got a decent economy coming up now, but now can he get the unit production to back it up in time to meet Bibiane's inevitable eventual push?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. This is some crazy factory count. Look at how beautiful this is. Ah, love me my building placement. Alright, the depots aren't as pretty, but those factories, so nice. And here we go, the push is moving out. Still only 1-1 is +2. No, +2 is not quite done. So, alright, just a 1-1 push here. That's alright, Semih's only at 1-0. And more importantly, he does not have nearly as many units. I mean, Bibiane could actually just do the good old A-move Terran here. And actually just win. Oh man, where's the rest of the army? Where are the rest of the Protoss units? The rest of the Protoss units, I think they're still just waiting at the natural. This clump of Dragoons is going to get caught by itself. Oh no! A free control group of Dragoons. Looks like more Dragoons coming from the top. The Zealots streaming down here. The shuttle's coming down, but it's completely empty. And it looks like a lot of Vultures have actually been killed. So now the Zealots are actually closing with the siege tanks. Bibiane actually might have made a mistake here. A-move Terran is not as good as A-move Protoss, but does it even matter? I don't know. The Zealots are all getting taken down here. They managed to get a decent number of siege tank kills. But Bibiane crushes through with 161 supply remaining. Semih's now down to 109. Let's take a scan over there. Gonna see nothing but a poor shuttle and Reaver there. Come on, Reaver, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh,
it's like Leonidas Reaver. Come on, no, the shuttle, don't die.
Shuttle just makes it back into the cannon cover, dropping down the Reaver, but this is going to be some beyond godlike Reaver micro to beat pretty much an entire Terran push. I think Semih's going to be really kicking himself for what happened there, letting all of those, pretty much every single one of his Dragoons get caught in a hideous corner and ending up doing no damage. And we can see that he had the force to deal with that. If those Dragoons had actually been useful and in a decent position, then all those Zealots coming in might have actually finished the battle off, rather than just kind of being a last-ditch attempt, and he was forced into a horrible engagement position where he really didn't want to be. And Bibiane comes out with it convincingly, where it didn't have to be the case.
Do you notice this? Semih has 7 observers on the map. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 8. He's got 8 observers on the map.
2 more at this
And they're
robo.
not even at his. He's got 2 more at his robo. He's got 10 observers on the map. Semih has 10 observers, and like
And
none
one
of them are
arbiter.
actually with his army. That is 750 gas. You could actually make like 2.5 arbiters with that gas. So that is quite amusing. I don't think I've ever seen that many observers in one game.
I'm gonna have a look at his map vision right now, just see what he can see. He can see pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I mean, not
he's
that
got-
it's really done him any good, because then he just knows how screwed he is at any given point. But yeah, good job on him for map vision, and GG from Semih. So Bibiane taking that one and looking quite nice in the process, but I think Semih was largely to blame there in that crucial engagement.
It's so funny because at the end, Semih had like 3,000 minerals and no gas left. He just
Yeah.
had all these observers. Oh man, you know, I think he won the moral victory there though. Like Guinness Book of Records for most observers in a PvT.
Observe your way out of this one, Semih.
Ho!
Oh, burn on Semih. I'm joking. I love Semih.
It's gonna challenge you to a grudge match now. You're so screwed.
Yeah,
Oh, we got 1 minute
that's
before
not
server
gonna
shutdown. Go, 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 go!
Ah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Alright, come on, let's do it. Let's do it!
My laptop keyboard
Elegant.
is so gay. I'm in. Let's do it. Bam. Go.
Ah, it's downloading. Elegant. 30
Oh my God.
seconds. Ah.
This is painful. So slow. Come on. Just get on with it, Mr. Download. Just hit spam OK. Spam OK. Go.
Oh! Whew.
We might
Nice.
just have it. Yeah. We're all right. Woo. It's gonna come up in a second now, and we're gonna be like, yes.
Alright, looks
Win.
like we're on benzene this time. Ooh.
Classic. Well, not really classic. It was a bit of an aborted map, but nonetheless, it's good enough for our purposes. I think it's quite a good map. I quite enjoy it. I mean, it was taken out for being, what was it? Too predictable. I think too predictable.
I
Too
don't
boring.
know. Oops. I just messed on my
I don't
row.
know. Okay, anyway, I'll do the introduction. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map as the purple Terran, we have ISL3 Bibiane going 2-1 up so far. And in the bottom left-hand of the map, spawning in as the orange Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih. Fighting for his life now. This is, of course, a best of 5 for who goes home with the 3rd place and who goes home with the 4th place. Of course, there is quite a big difference in terms of prize money. So Semih living life on the edge now, and he really needs to do some cool reverse stuff. He's going to be able to take down Bibiane, whereas Bibiane looks incredibly strong so far in these series. Semih managing to take 1 game so far, largely because of a pretty, I'm going to say pretty concerted cheese attempt on Semih's part, and it is a valid way of taking a game in a tournament, but nonetheless, he's going to have to do something special.
It's funny, because in his series against Dodie, I think Dodie's the one that kept cheesing him. So maybe he's a little bit frustrated after that. But either way, it's like SCV's going out relatively quick here. He might build a forward barracks at his natural, which would indicate a 1-Rex expand. But no, he's actually going all the way out. Where's he going? Where are you going, SCV? Okay, that's an interesting barracks positioning. I feel like if a probe from Semih gets right-clicked to Bibiane's main, he won't quite see the barracks. He'll go up along the top path and kind of scoot into the natural and not see it. But I'm not 100% sure. I feel like that's why he's positioned it there, though. Meanwhile, it's a 12 next from Semih. Boom.
Yeah. Boom. So this could be a little bit disadvantageous for Semih, because of course those Marines are going to be popping up just a little bit earlier than he would have expected. Well, I say earlier, he wouldn't expect them to be arriving at his base at all, whereas it looks like that's in fact what Bibiane has in mind. So I think Bibiane's called this one quite well. It looks like he's doing this in expectation of Semih going for a 12 next.
Indeed, but I do like this choice of 12 next on this map because the distance from main to main is so ridiculously long. It is actually so long. It's like match point just got stretched. Match point, all right, like if match point was like, you know, like the hot skinny 16-year-old girl, like benzene is when she's like married and 40 and has had 3 children, is just like super fat. Like that's basically the real life version of what's happened to benzene here. It's actually just match point, but really old and ugly. Anyway, that's such a terrible thing to say. Anyway.
I wasn't going to stop you. It's not my reputation. Just saying. Just saying.
It's okay. It's okay. Everyone thinks I'm orb. Now people are just gonna be mad at orb.
Yeah, well, people are already mad at Orb, so that's okay. It's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah, exactly. People
Everyone's
already
mad at
expect
everyone
Orb
else
to
at
be.
the SC2C.
Yeah, he's already really inappropriate. It's completely standard.
Yeah, he's going to get double pitchforked right now. We have a couple of Marines pushing out across the middle of the map, straight from that barracks. The barracks has been scouted, so Semih's in no illusions of what's going on. Yes, as Sayle says, SCV's tracking out across the map, and this is going to be pretty tough for Semih, because we all know how good SCVs are. I mean, the one building the bunker has in fact been taken down, so that bunker might not actually end up happening at all. It looks like it will have to be cancelled out by Bibiane, but now is the time where he's really going to have a decent window when he's fighting against only one zealot, not quite taking a hit to his forward marine right there, and the SCV is going to make life difficult for Semih, and we'll see what his micro skills are like. He's going to have 2 zealots and a bunch of probes only.
Oh man, Semih queuing up his Dragoon a little bit, gonna delay it, but he does have 2 zealots. He did go get those 2 gateways quite early. It looks like Bibiane gonna build the bunker a little bit further back this time. He's gonna block properly with these SCVs, and he will be able to take this engagement. SCVs are pretty beefy. He's got 4 Marines now against the 2 zealots. The bunker's almost finished. He will be able to get into the bunker. The 1 Marine does go down though, but Semih's gonna lose 1 zealot as well. He's gonna try and stop the bunker, but no, the bunker does go up, and now the Vulture is there as well. Semih could be in a lot of trouble now. He's gonna lose a 2nd zealot, 3rd zealot taking a little bit of damage. Where are the Dragoons? The first Dragoon is almost out, but range is only just started now. He's not going to have Dragoon range, and this could be very, very bad. At the very least, he's going to get denied mining here. Nice bunker positioning for the second one. It's kind of being protected by the first one, and it ranges the mineral patch here. So Semih's just going to pull his probes back. I think he might have to just sack this expansion.
Yeah, I think he probably will. I mean, there's a second bunker allowing him to leapfrog forward, and of course bunkers is double go-to in that they actually increase the range of Marines. Look at that, that's actually really smart from Bibiane. He seems to be very clued up on exactly what the range of Marines is, because I think that Nexus is right on the limit of a bunker's range. But yeah, I think the natural expansion is going to be forfeit. I can't see what Semih can really do to take this back, especially since the Dragoon range is still quite a long way off as well. We might see a little bit of a sneak by with a couple of Vultures right now, though. It looks like he's trying to dart in, but it's not going to be doing too much damage. And this is going to give Bibiane a nice window to get his own natural expansion up as well, and take a decent lead in this game against Semih.
Meanwhile, Bibiane stopped mining gas, so he's going to try and get an expansion of his own. And by the way, just now it was so funny. There were like 3 SCVs in a line repairing each other. It just reminded me of like the picture of the monkeys, you know, like picking things off each other's back. It's really, really cute. That's like the first time I've ever thought SCVs were cute. So anyway, Semih just still kind of hold positioning here at his natural with these Dragoons, waiting for his range to finish so he can start picking off or poking at this bunker. But there are still 3 SCVs here, so we'll still be able to repair. Meanwhile, the command center finally going down now for Bibiane. Note that, you know, he did pull those SCVs off pretty early. He had to send them all the way across the map, across this long rush distance, so he did lose a lot of mining time, but obviously getting that Nexus made everything worth it. Semih down to 30 supply against the 35 of Bibiane. Somehow that Marine actually got an extra shot off there, I think. Did that Dragoon like poke up too close? I think Semih's just trying to position himself so when the range finishes he can start shelling it. Yep, looks like gonna start doing that. Gotta inch those Dragoons a little bit further forward, and with 4 Dragoons there actually he will be able to pick it off eventually, because you need at least 1 SCV per Dragoon to keep it repaired, so that bunker is gonna go down, but he can just pull back to the second bunker though and just buy even more time. Looks like the Vultures though might be going for a run by here. The Vultures go for a run by into the main. Nope, changes his mind. Yeah,
slow Vultures are not too good at doing the run bys. He's still looking like he wants to try it. But I think more than anything he was just buying time for the bunker, which he did admirably. I mean, that bunker is still alive right now, but he may lose all that good work if he doesn't repair it. Okay, he does actually manage to get repairing it. And that tank looks like it's going around the back. Smart move, so it's going to be covering from the high ground. And this is going to make the position very, very hard for Semih to break with a tank on the high ground and another bunker falling further back. And mines now out as well for Bibiane. Semih is going to be left with an awful lot to do. Not saying he can't do it, because he can, but this is going to be very, very difficult for him. He's lined up with a good number of Dragoons, so the aggression is over. His main base isn't in any kind of danger, but having said that, just surviving is not enough. He needs to get some map presence, and I'm curious to see how he's going to do that. Meanwhile, he is producing a shuttle, so we could either see possibly some Reaver action, or maybe he's just going to start elevatoring units out, but it is going to be a Reaver. We see a Robo support bay going down now, so yeah, he's going to have to do some real damage, but definitely not going to count that out.
Man, that is such a cool idea to send that tank to the back there. Siege mode is still a little while away, but with those mines there, the Dragoons won't be able to get out in time. The only issue is, though, that with that shuttle out, he's just going to be able to drop a Reaver on the tank, and it'll just die immediately. So, not quite going to work out for Bibiane, even though it was quite a good idea. And look at that, being very cute, doing a bit of mine sweeping with that Zealot there. But now the Siege mode is done, and that is such a brutal contain. That is the one issue with Benzene, I guess, is that this choke, like, there's such a long and narrow path outside of your natural. It's just like so easy to get contained and so impossible to break out of it. Like, I don't actually know if it's actually physically possible for Semih to break this contain. It's just not enough space. He's gonna have to do some weird elevator or something, or some huge counterattack, or to just basically do a ton of damage with this Reaver counterattack in order to come back in the game. I mean, he's gonna have to cancel his Nexus again. Even it's not even like that's another horrible thing, is that not only are you contained, but he doesn't even have his natural. Like on most maps, you can get contained, but at least you're contained on 2 bases. But now Semih's contained on 1 base, and it's like, oh damn, now what do I do? And
yeah, and he's gonna throw away a couple of goods in his natural too. He is going to do the sensible thing and shuttle out a probe, so he's going to be making up a base at the 6 o'clock. I would imagine that'll get scouted eventually, but that could spread Bibiane a little bit thinly and could be Semih's opportunity to at least break out of his natural, as long as there's some kind of distraction. Of course, you don't want to be using your second mining base as a distraction, but if that's the case, then so be it. If that's the cost for actually getting out of your main with some units. The Reaver is now making its way over to Bibiane's natural, and whilst there are no missile turrets, there is a Wraith on the way, so I think this is a pretty intelligent decision for Bibiane. I think that'll be coming in at just about the same time as the shuttle arrives. There is a Dragoon in the shuttle, however, so that might be just a kind of little bit of an in right there for Semih, but it's going to be a tough situation. Dropping to the natural now, will he be able to get any decent Scarabs off? Landing the Dragoon down first very sensibly. He sees the Wraith in there as well, so he knows to be careful getting one first Scarab off and getting nothing but 1 or 2 SCVs at most. And now doing a little bit of a mind drag action. Oh, sick diffusing with the Reaver there as well. But actually I think the Dragoon bought the shot, so the Dragoon still taking quite a lot of damage and going down eventually and getting another Scarab off, but still only getting 1 SCV at a time. Will he get a few more here though?
Oh!
Massive Scarab off, taking down a big stack of SCVs, and that's just the kind of thing he needs to keep doing to get back into this match.
Man, there is a time limit on this Reaver though, because the second Wraith is coming out, and the Dragoon did die. Of course, he did kill the first Wraith, but can he do some more SCV damage here? I think it's gonna done. One more. God, Scarabs.
So bad. Oh.
What? Wait, where's that tank? Oh wow.
He loses the Reaver. Reaver goes down. Damn it, Semih. That was your hope.
Dude, I didn't even see that tank there. Look, this tank is like camouflaged in the depots. It's got like an special artillery position. I had no idea that was there.
Wow, I didn't see that. I don't know if that's intentional, but if it is, then that's very clever. If not, then that's just cool. I didn't see it at all.
Yeah. It was so random, because the Reaver gets shot by a tank shot, and I'm like, wait, what? There is no tank on the screen. Anyway, now Semih's stuck in his main, and Vulture is near the 6 o'clock. Oh, he actually, I think he actually scouted it already, right? Because the cannons got damaged. Okay. So he knows what's going on. He's sending some Vultures down there, he's sending a siege tank, and it's going to be bad news bears for Semih.
Bad news bears, yeah, I don't think there's going to be enough to defend this. However, there are 2 speed shuttles out, so this could actually be defendable for Semih. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but with 2 speed shuttles, he's going to be able to bring in 4 Dragoons at a time, so he's got 6 Dragoons out there. With no observers, however, he's going to have a hard time dealing with those mines. But it's definitely not impossible. He definitely has the means to deal with this. Dropping the Dragoons down now, I think that's a little bit risky as a move. He might be able to snipe out the tanks, though. Got to be careful of taking mine hits. Manages to get 1 tank for the cost of 1 Dragoon, but more tanks coming in. There's at least 1 more tank coming in to reinforce this, but bringing out more Dragoons. He really wants to hold on to this base, and I can see why. This is pretty much his main hope in this game right now, but no observer's going to make life a little bit difficult. Will he be able to snipe out that tank?
Oh!
One
no!
Oh, fear. Taking so many mine hits, losing 3 of his Dragoons. And he needs to bring in either more reinforcements or that base is going to be screwed. With the second Reaver coming in now, he may still have a chance to hold this. This does leave his main very exposed, however, to any kind of backstab.
It's quite funny though, because it looks like Bibiane is just turtling up hardcore here at the front. No thoughts of going for backstab, so Semih really can't afford to just commit all these units. And it looks like this time he does a good job. All the mines have been cleared by those sacrificial Dragoons from earlier. He's got to be careful though, the Wraith's coming in. Gonna re-drop these Dragoons. Looks like actually the Starport was just rallied here, so Bibiane making a bit of a mistake is gonna lose that Wraith. It might pull the Dragoons into Spider Mines. No, not quite. So Bibiane, or rather Semih, I guess not completely dead. It looks like he's got some sliver of hope here, but it is still pretty difficult. I mean, basically, just it's just so annoying. He has to keep elevating units. He just cannot leave his base. So look, he's adding on more gateways, but he's like never gonna get out of his base. But it looks like counterattack is going in. There are nicely positioned mines. Another Wraith is already out to start hunting these down, but it's going to be difficult to catch the speed shuttles. Here we go, though. Reaver in the middle line. Oh! Nice Scarab, getting a 3 SCVs, 3 or 4 SCVs it looks like. There's actually not that many SCVs there in the first place. He's got to pick up the Dragoons again, though. Oh no, looks like he's just sending the first shuttle back. Gonna get chased down by these Wraiths. and he's leaving everything else here in the main base to continue doing damage. Bibiane actually doesn't have that much stuff left, and you know, oh, he might actually get all of these depots, doing a nice target firing, splashing all the depots, one more shot, boom! And that is going to supply block Bibiane hardcore here. He's going to be careful though, he's in range of the siege tanks. Run, Semih! Run away.
He's doing a decent job of this harass, really making it count. Ooh, almost managing to get a little bit of a window of opportunity in the natural there, but not quite doing so as the Wraiths come in to block him off. And yeah, he's managed to supply block Bibiane, even if it is only temporary. Still having a crack at that academy as well, but the scanner's already up, so not so much reason to worry about that. The Wraiths, I think, finally going to be able to clean out this shuttle, and he needs to drop that Reaver down. Might have been able to get one more shot on the tanks, but honestly, that's not the biggest of deals right now. He does some decent damage, and I think it definitely paid for itself. And if we look at Bibiane's SCV saturation, he's actually pretty thin in terms of his mining capabilities right now. Not too many SCVs mining at his natural, and only a few going back to mine at his main as well. So this has actually been quite nice. Semih coming in again with 2 more shuttles, full of Dragoons only this time. He's actually going to try and clean this out with Dragoon drops only, and this is actually quite an intelligent way to play this. And he might be able to take down 1 siege tank at least. He is able to get that, but another siege tank sieging up further back will probably be able to deal with this. Dragoon's not as good at killing SCVs as Reavers, of course, are, but this is still pretty damaging. And Semih, yeah, really fighting hard here. You gotta give him credit.
This is so funny. He's just like non-stop making shuttles. He's got 2 robos making Reavers and shuttles right now, and he's like, oh my god, he's got 3 more shuttles in his main.
What?
Semih, what a hero! Just the non-stop robo production. This game is just blowing my mind right now, and it's keeping him alive as well. I mean, he's actually got a supply lead, a huge supply lead over Bibiane. He's at 98 supply against a 70 supply Bibiane. How does he have a monstrous supply lead? And he's going in with 5 Dragoons and a Reaver, and Bibiane's only got 3 siege tanks. He might just unload on everything, but he unloads the Reaver first though. The Reaver tanking a lot of damage. Oh no! The Reaver dies inside the shuttle, but it doesn't matter. There's still 5 Dragoons in the main. There's only 1 tank out of position. He can go in here with the Dragoons, clear out the turrets so the speed shuttles can go home and go start killing SCVs in the main base. Semih, I swear to God, if he comes back in this game, it'll be like one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Just double robo production here, non-stop. How does he still have money for this? I can't believe it. How is this even possible? Oh, he might get intercepted by the Wraiths. Oh no, he's gonna get intercepted. Oh no, that was not ideal.
No, that is many things. Ideal is not one of them. And his Dragoons have been mopped up in the main. He did manage to get 1 or 2 tank snipes while he was at it. And the economy of Bibiane is incredibly weak. He's managed to supply block Bibiane once again as well. And Semih is somehow in a good position. I'll say good position. He's almost down to 1 mining base, but he's getting another mining base up, so he's getting a 3rd up and running. Somehow he's lifting more Dragoons out, and he's going to go in the natural where there is no defense, so Bibiane's being pulled all over the place right here. He's having to defend like mad as these Dragoons come into the natural. I'm surprised we don't have observers in yet for Semih, but I guess he's just been biding his time and getting lots of shuttles going with the aggression. 2 Reavers coming in now as well. Going to make it hard, at least, for Bibiane to get out to his 3rd base. He shouldn't be able to do too much more damage in the main, but damage has already been done there. He just has to prevent the 3rd for a while, and he might actually be in a decent position, eventually probably being ready to break his fronts as well, though that's going to soak up a lot of units.
He's actually going out right now, and he's actually setting up for a flank attack here. He's got 3 Reavers, 2 Reavers on the backside, 1 Reaver is just slow walking out towards the natural. I think he can maybe get some pot shots off on the barracks and the engineering bay first before he goes in, but it looks like he is just going in now from the back. He's got to go in from the front as well. He's got to like run the Zealots through. He's got to focus down the engineering bay. The Reavers are dropping here. Can they get the good shots off? And he does get the shots off, but it looks like he loses 1 of the Reavers. The other Reaver does get picked up in the shuttle, and it looks like Semih's going to break this. That 1 siege tank on the high ground is going to be so annoying. 3 SCVs repairing this. The barracks soaking up a lot of damage. The Dragoons are running up to try and take down the siege tank, but I think Semih's going to break this. Unfortunately for him, Vultures have spotted his hidden expo at the 6 o'clock, but it doesn't matter. Semih has broken the contain. The Reaver gets the last shot off. Only 1 Wraith remains, and somehow Semih has broken out of the ridiculously good contain, and he's now at 87 supply against just the 69 supply of Bibiane. He's got his 3rd base up. The cannons did finish in time, so that's going to be safe. He can send some Dragoons over to protect it. Bibiane has got his mineral only now, but Semih is in an unbelievably good position considering that he 12 next, lost the Nexus, and then got hard contained on 1 base. He is somehow coming back in this game. I can't believe it. You know, someone in the chat actually said, you know, it's funny because it looks like an island map game, and I wonder if that's part of the reason, because Semih is, of course, you know, experienced in, like, you know, 2v2s and random things like island maps. I mean, he's a pretty old school player, so, you know, he was active around the time when people actually played island maps. So maybe he's bringing all of his collective experience into play here.
Yeah, still no observers though. I mean, he's not going to be able to break into this third. I mean, it's looking pretty thin in terms of defense. It would probably be enough even with observers into the bargain. But yeah, that island map experience definitely coming in handy there. I feel it's very rare that we see anyone do a play like that. Usually it's just chucking stuff at the front door, trying to get out. But this is really thinking a little bit outside the box, and it's paid off nicely for Semih. And he's still definitely very much in this game. And Bibiane way behind in terms of supply. 75 supply for Bibiane versus 110 for Semih. That is a massively big deal, and Semih's going to go up to 4th base in just a second too, as his natural finally gets up and running. And it's only a matter of time before his observer's out and he can start to be really super active around the map. Okay, he does have a couple of observers out, but none with his army. So yeah, he should be able to be pretty active now, and he's clearing up Bibiane's map vision quite nicely as well. Not many mines remaining, and yeah, Semih looking great right now.
Man, his army did walk dangerously close to those couple spider mines though, but you know what? He's got 2 robos, he can pump out obs double time. And as we saw in that game on Ground Zero, Semih does love his obs. Also, by the way, I think this is possibly the first game I've ever seen where the natural was taken as the 4th base. It's just like, does not compute. Just think about it, like when was the last time you saw a game where it's like, oh yeah, he took his natural expansion, that's now his 4th base. What? Oh man,
weird stuff.
It's like a Fun Day Monday or something. I think Day9 actually did a Fun Day Monday on this, where he's like, you're not allowed to take your natural ever or something. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Anyway, it looks like Bibiane is gonna start pushing down towards the 6 o'clock. It is kind of on Bibiane's half of the map, so it is relatively easy for him to push down here, and that is a pretty sick tank line there. But there are a lot of speed shuttles running around, can do Reaver and Zealot bombs all over the tanks. I mean, there's not that many vultures and mines in play here to help support the push. Semih does have about a 30 supply lead, but he's going to run into these spider mines though. These spider mines can do a lot of damage. Oh, huge mine going off, but the Reavers are down. Is he going to get a good shot off? The Reavers not really doing enough damage. The Zealots are also slow Zealots. He really needed the shuttles to make those effective. And oh my god, that is so many tanks in the back. Semih should pull back, I think. Semih does not have enough units here. He needs another wave of Zealots.
I think he didn't realize how deep that tank line was when he continued to walk forward there. I'm surprised he wasted his Reavers so readily when they've been so critical for him throughout this game. I would imagine he'd be a lot more careful, but throwing them away a little bit too gung-ho for my liking. And he should really have made sure that he was fully aware of just how many tanks there were back there, because that is a lot of defense and still a lot in the back line for Bibiane. So that actually came off quite nicely for Bibiane, and that went a little bit of a way towards levelling out the supply difference. Still a pretty big supply difference, roughly 30 supply discrepancy between the two, but Semih making ready for another attack here. Surprised not to see Speeds attacking quite yet, but it will be done in just a second here, and he's making off 6 gateways because he has an extra 2 gateways at his 6 o'clock base. So he should be able to catch this push before it... Well, I hesitate before it gets our Nexus, but quite soon after at the very least. So in a decent position to take care of Bibiane's push.
Oh man, he's got a time limit now on that attack, and it looks like he's going in. He's going to start dropping the Zealots. Bibiane tries to focus down the shuttle with the Goliath in the race. He does a decent job, but a couple of Zealots do go down. Is it going to be enough for Semih? I don't think so. He's run out of Zealots. He's got only Dragoons left. It's not going to be enough. He needs more Zealots. A couple more Zealots coming in to reinforce, but that's not going to be enough. It looks like Semih, despite his best efforts, is going to lose this expansion. But is he just double expanding somewhere else? Looks like he's taking his mineral only now. He's got something on the top left, but that's not a probe. But that'd be so funny if he just like sacked this base. Like, alright, let's go take some. I'll just go expand somewhere else. Fine, I get it. You don't want me here. It's all good.
But that seemed like a massive waste of resources for Semih, because he didn't really need to hold on to that base kind of hell for leather. This wasn't the be-all and end-all of the game. He could have fallen back to a further back position, taken those probes home, built extra bases somewhere else, just as he's doing right now. He would have still been on 2 mining bases, which is not great, but good to keep you propped up for the time being, and then continue making speed outs and just hold Bibiane in a slightly further forward position, because of course Dragoons are great for delaying Terran pushes, and I have no idea why he didn't do that.
Indeed, it looks like 4th base now going up for Bibiane at the bottom right. The last remnants of that expansion getting taken down. Meantime, looks like those mines that were outside the 6 o'clock finally getting cleaned up there. It's been a while, and Semih with his random gateway placement. I wonder how this is going to affect his macro, because I mean, you know, this is such an odd game. It's like, I know if I end up in these weird situations where I have like random gateways, I often just forget to use them, so I'll like only macro from the gateways in my main. Meanwhile, Semih's got 2 random obs in his base. Looks like they're just like everything is rallied to his main base. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if he doesn't fix all his rallies, if he doesn't keep track of all his infrastructure, it can definitely hurt him in the long run. But it looks like he's gonna catch these tanks unsieged here. No, not quite.
Really? Could have been bad for Bibiane, but he pulled back in decent timing, and that disadvantageous engagement for Semih really closed out the supply gap, and we can see that it's now very, very even between these two guys, and that's just how much of an effect that kind of engagement can really have on the game. It can create a massive, massive swing. Bibiane now using his scan and glass to clear out observers at long last, so Semih once again is going to be having to make a lot more observers if he wants that incredible map vision, which did so little for him last game. Pushing in now as well, just doing some more mine clearing, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to be losing more observers. He really needs the cash to make sure he's got the late game tech of either Arbiters or High Templar in abundance.
Indeed, indeed. I'm just thinking, like, even though Semih lost that base, it's still 4 base against 3. Like, 4th base just going up, and it's just, I'm just like trying to wrap my head around how Semih has come back in this game. Because when he lost his Nexus and he got contained, I'm like, this is like GG, you know. Well, he might struggle for another 5 minutes because you know, it's like if he loses this game, then it's gonna be over. But damn, Semih, I'm so impressed. Looks like meanwhile he is taking the top left base as his 5th now, since he lost that 6 o'clock base. I guess yeah, so that was his 5th base. Yeah. He's just kind of keeping map control here in the middle. Of course, you know, Benzine's got a lot of space in the middle, so plenty of room for the Protoss to kind of just walk around and engage. It's actually, you know, now that I think about it, it's really not a very nice map for Terran. It's pretty hard to push through the middle here. Although I guess if you split the map, it's not a big deal. Anyway, it looks like some Dragoons running in here, going to clear some mines. The tank's a little bit further back, but no, going to get pushed back. And now Bibiane is also claiming that base that was once Semih. Semih did mine about 200-ish minerals, a little over 200 minerals from each of the patches, so I don't know. If it goes to some super late game situation where the entire map is mined out, that might make a difference, but probably not. In the meantime, we keep the double armories going, and Bibiane looks content just to kind of hold his side of the map. Of course, he's focusing most of the units down here at the bottom position, because the only other entrance is kind of across these 2 narrow bridges, so he doesn't have to leave that many units there to defend a counterattack. Meanwhile, one Vulture is actually scouting around the top bases just to see if Semih has taken those yet, and he has not. High Templars actually coming out, and more shuttles even, more shuttles, Elegant.
Wow, more shuttles. Semih's going shuttle crazy. I mean, shuttles are good because even at this stage, big kind of shuttle bombs can do really well, but it looks like these are going to be mainly in order to defend his High Templar, which is very, very sensible too. You don't want 4 High Templar on a little bit of a clump and then bam, off goes the EMP and suddenly you've got like no late game tech in your army. That can be horrible, horrible stuff. So yeah, good decision to get the High Templar loaded up. A little bit of a risk because shuttles are of course quite a lot quicker than a lot of other things, so they can enter the fray significantly earlier than the rest of your stuff. And if one shuttle gets sniped out, then that's 4 High Templar going down immediately, so that could be pretty nasty. But Semih now with that top left-hand base up and running, his economy back in decent shape, and it looks like he didn't actually suffer too badly from that earlier engagement, which left him so apparently crippled, but it hasn't taken too much of a long-term effect. Been able to restabilize, and now he's just making sure he's in a decent position to flank and respond to any Terran push that's going to come his way. It looks like it's going to come along the bottom of the map if it does in fact happen at all.
Now, I have 2 concerns. First of all, even though Semih and Bibiane are both maxed, Bibiane's got well, actually, I was going to say he had better infrastructure, but actually he's still only on his initial 6 factories. Now adding on more factories, both players actually surprisingly lacking in unit-producing buildings. Of course, Semih only has, what is it, like 8 gateways in total? Yeah, 8 gateways in total. So he needs to add some more gateways, and whereas Bibiane also needs to add more factories, just, you know, so both players can remax after they have their big fight here. But also, look at this. There's 2 shuttles with 7 High Templar between them. That looks really cool, and, you know, on paper, it might sound really good, but in terms of actual execution, it's extremely difficult to do the moving unload and get all the storms off effectively at the same time. You have to be it's very difficult to get a good angle unloading the Templars so that they don't immediately die to siege tank fire, and then you also obviously have to click and do all the storms yourself. So I'm really interested to see, you know, how good Semih's trigger finger is when he uses that. And is his Arbiter Tech on the way yet? Where is he just not getting Arbiter Tech at all?
I haven't seen it. I think he's just gone straight for Storm because he has got a lot of High Templar loaded up there, no gas in the bank. So yeah, I think it's just a big High Templar late game, and it's not completely unviable. High Templar are good, but they're incredibly susceptible to EMPs. He does have a couple of Stargates happening in his natural, so I guess it's going to be Arbiters eventually, but pretty late on, and he's going to have to deal with this push with pure Storm, no stasis whatsoever. And it looks like Bibiane is finally ready to go, just clearing out observers to the best of his ability to make sure that Semih's as in the dark as he possibly can be, and he's going to be finding himself pushing up the high ground right here, which is prime position for Semih to get good storms down. It looks like the engagement is going to be coming up quite soon, but Semih pulling back and just making sure that the positioning is right for him, doesn't want to get caught in another bad engagement.
Oh man, he's just trying to wait until the perfect opportunity. He's waiting. I think he should go when these unsieged tanks move close enough. But it looks like a lot of the mines are actually in position already. And this 6 o'clock base is very vulnerable. Looks like he's going in. He's going in. Here we go. The shuttles are going forward. I think they're too far forward though. The High Templar. Oh, looks like now he's going in.
Oh.
He's pulled back a little bit. A lot of the vultures getting taken down already. Where are the storms though? Storms! Storm, man. Semih, more storms, dude. More storms. Oh man, one of the shuttles didn't actually unload, and oh my god, everything else is blue goo. All the siege tanks remain. Holy balls. GG from Semih. Terran OP.
Dear me, that seemed incredibly unnecessary. What Semih did right there is he didn't engage in a nice big kind of flat line. He kind of went in a little bit of a dodgy position, and then his storm, he dropped it down way in front of the rest of his army, so it was right in range of the further back siege tanks, which weren't actually firing on anything at the time. So as soon as the High Templar dropped down, a couple of them got sniped out immediately. He was still able to get some storms, but he could have done so much better with his position and his opportunities throughout the game. He had a massive lead at one point, and it's a bit weird to see him go down in such style. But go down he does, and Bibiane takes the game.
Indeed, and that means he takes the series as well, 3-1 in favor of Bibiane, so Bibiane is the 3rd place finisher in Altitude's ISL3. Congratulations to him. He will take home $300, and Semih, as the 4th place finisher, will take home $200. So congrats to him also. Not an easy feat to make it to 4th place here in such a stacked tournament.
Yeah, big congratulations to him. He's had to fight hard to get there, and yeah, 4th place, no mean feat indeed, as you say. So well done to him, and also big congratulations to Bibiane for taking the 3rd place and taking a rather larger slice of the cash prize.
Alright, but now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the main event, ladies and gentlemen. We are going on to the finals between Zeki and Dodi, the best of 9 grand finals. But first, I'm going to be switching out my co-commentator. Elegance will be withdrawing, and Hacklebeast will be joining me on the cast. But first, shall we give one more shout out to the sponsors, because they are awesome and they made all of this possible.
Yes, I would like to give one more shout out to the sponsors. I've been informed by Hacklebeast that I still didn't have the complete sponsor list. He has sent me a complete sponsor list, so thank you to Hacklebeast for doing that. And I would like to extend my complete and certain thanks to Sales Viewers, Fairyland, Twitch TV, Noise, Prowler, Nebopolis, Ruskig,